About gymnastics, and British gymnasts have been wowing the crowds at the competition on the floor at the European Championships in Italy this weekend. We've got 2 gold medals secured so far.
Yeah, doing well. So we'll speak to Beth Tweddle and Matt Baker, who are commentating at the event in just a moment. But first of all, let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Fix this squeeze. Come on, Luke. 1, 2. Great control. Right inside the floor, he's using every inch of this 12-metre square. Drifts in the 2.5, floats a straight front somersault. Is going well. Got to stand this up for a medal. Wraps in, triple twist. What a performance!
Oh, yes! Second vault, Commonwealth champion, current world champion. And no doubt he'll keep that difficulty well up there. Will he go for the 5-6?
OK, wow.
Why are we cutting him off before we actually see
He did go for the 5-6, he did.
We're going to see it. Former Olympic gymnast Beth Tweddle's here, Matt Baker as well, who's commentating. You were a top gymnast in the day, weren't
Back
you?
in the day, Roger, I was, yes. Thanks for mentioning that.
Talk first of all about Jake Jarman, then. We were just about to see him. We will see him.
We were just about to see his second vault there. He did both the vaults that he won the world title with, and he won back the European vault title, which he won back in 2022. But he's a phenomenal gymnast, isn't he? Himself, he's 22 years old. Yeah. It doesn't seem like 2 minutes since he came out of the junior ranks. But to be competing at that level, it's the difficulty that he puts up.
Can you explain that for us? Because when you watch it, I was watching it on the sport website earlier. I think we're going to see it now. But it's so fast that I think for normal people, we can't quite compute what it is he's doing here. So take us through it.
Yeah, a normal person can't do this, can they?
Do you know what, even some of your top-level gymnasts, there's very few gymnasts that are able to execute the vault that Jake does, a 3.5 twist. So most gymnasts will go towards the 3 twist. But
so
you
that
can see
extra
here,
half.
Oh, it's a huge difference. So you can see there he has to get a huge block, do the 3.5, and obviously have enough time to be able to open out, spot the landing and land.
Spot the landing.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And do you know what? We have seen him absolutely nail that vault. So not only is he doing the difficulty, but he's also able to produce the execution.
Does it matter as a complete ignoramus? You see him take a big stride. He stays within the lines. That doesn't... I mean, it's inevitable.
So it does. Obviously, he gets deducted for it, but he has, because of the difficulty, he's got 4/10 above any other gymnast before he even kind of gets the execution taken away from him. So absolutely, he's vying to try and do it, to nail that landing, but...
Yeah, it's a bit like the sort of ice skating scores. The sort of the perfect 10, if you like, still exists, but that's the execution, and then you add to it your difficulty. So you can really build your score and then sort of afford yourself a few tenths with the execution because you start with such a high score. You're with me?
Yeah,
So
understood.
some gymnasts really push it. Yeah. And that gives them
it's
that
a bit like
sort of buffer.
Simone Biles. She has so much difficulty that sometimes we've seen her pull errors out in competition, but still take away medals.
Let's talk about Luke Whitehouse as well, who retained his gold from last year. Again, looking really, really good as we head towards Paris. So let's just have a look at what he did. And how do you see him developing? Because he's obviously been peaking for some time now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of the youngster coming onto the scene last year, won the European title, and he wasn't actually selected to be heading out to this Europeans. But Max Whitlock withdrew through a slight injury. So Luke was actually out in a World Cup in Doha and flew straight from there.
So he's won the gold medal and he was the reserve, effectively.
Basically, yeah.
Well, yeah, it wasn't even the reserve because he was actually at another competition because of Max's situation. Things got shuffled around and they said, right, Luke, get on a plane, get to Rimini.
How hard is that?
And he did. And absolutely incredible to retain that title. And they're back-to-back titles. I mean, that means a lot to be able to come
just
back.
To get a European title is hard enough. To do it year on year.
Can you explain where we are in the selection process? Because it's still mind-blowing to me that some athletes across all different sports don't know if they're going to Paris yet.
Yeah, so for the British team, we know we've got our team spots. So we've got the spots secured. And for the individual gymnasts, they're now just kind of putting down their markers, saying, this is my challenge to get my spot spot, and then the selectors will basically have a meeting and
So it is down to the
decide.
selectors. It's not down to competition results.
Well, obviously, they're taking in every competition result into consideration, and there is a criteria that they'll be working towards. But yeah, ultimately, it's down to the selectors, and the team will be announced. Probably June time.
So it doesn't come down to one competition,
no.
it's across, which is good, isn't it? Because then you can take an overall form.
I mean, obviously, you've got the likes of Max Whitlock, who has a proven track record. So if he's fit and if all is well, then he will go and have the chance of a 4th Olympic title for Max Whitlock. That's what he's hoping for. But, yeah, this team is incredible, and they're working towards a team final, which is today, where it all comes together. And basically, it's 3 gymnasts that go per country. Every single score counts. So no matter if you step out or make a mistake or whatever, that goes towards that team total. And that's happening this afternoon.
This is the men's, isn't it? Because the women's competition hasn't started
Yeah,
yet.
but Luke won't be involved in that. Luke's actually out there as an individual, so don't be surprised if you don't see Luke today. He's not
He was
part
never
of that
intended
team.
to be there as part
So
of
we've
the
got
team.
some of the guys who are in the team. Let's just have a look at a couple of these guys competing. This is James Hall, I think we're about to see. I mean,
Yeah,
on
so
the bars.
James has been a consistent member of this team for a long period, and it was really nice to see he made the P-bar final yesterday. And was really, really pleased with his result. I think it was 5th that he ended up in. But yeah, he's had some up and down over the past year, but it was really nice to kind of see everything come together yesterday.
And Beth, just give us a heads up then for the women's event, which starts, I think, on the 2nd.
It starts next week, yeah. Finals will be next Saturday and Sunday. So we've got Rebecca Downey heading out there. Obviously has been a consistent member of the British team, really looking for that bars medal. We have unfortunately had a couple of injuries, so Ondine has withdrawn over the past week, and last year at the World Championships, Jessica Gadarova did her ACL, so she won't be there competing.
But you're both on the plane to Paris for the
Yes,
Olympics?
we are,
There we go.
yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You have been selected.
We've booked our
We've
spot.
proved our track record, Chef, and we're there.
This is good news.
Thank you both. It's lovely to see you both.
Thank you.
Thank you to Matt and to Beth. You can watch coverage of the men's event. It's this afternoon. It's on the BBC iPlayer, and you can follow it from 2:30.
Yeah.